Hey there, and thanks for joining me in this new video. Junctek is an old channel collaborator. I start to review their devices from a really early phase in the channel, and when I reviewed the predecessor of the device that I will review today, the channel was around 600 subscribers, so a lot happened since. They sent me for review the new KH140F coulometer, that in simple words is a battery monitor that can be used, for example, on a solar panel installation. You can see my previous review video on the already awesome KH110F series by pressing the link here in the left corner. With this new version, several new improvements were added, and I will review them more ahead in the video, so bear with me. Time for the normal disclaimer that for transparency I will let you know that I received this device for review free of charge, and also I didn't receive any payment from Junctek for making this review. Still, I want to thank them for collaborating with the channel for so long, and also you that sponsored this channel by using the affiliate links in the description or the affiliate access links here in the screen before paying your purchases on AliExpress or Amazon, allowing me to maintain the channel and keep these reviews always independent. Thank you so much for your help. So, without further ado, let's do this. So, as usual, let's see what is delivered in the box. This box, it's a little bit higher and also wider than the previous one. This is the KG series and this is the KH. So it comes in this unbranded box. It just has here the model number and the brand, and we have some indications of some features of the device. It can be firmware updated, real-time capacity monitoring. We have some features here. Okay, let's see what it comes inside. We start with the usual user manual. They have some caution and some care preparing the user manual. It has infographics, color infographic. It's very well organized, and you have here the detailed description how to use all the functions. So pretty good work. Let's see what we have in here also. So let's start with one of the big changes is this sensor. The sensor now has this cover and this case, and that is pretty awesome. We still have here a switch, I think, two wires, three wires. What else? We have the control interface, and the control interface, it's pretty similar to the KG series. I think the KG series, it's dark. To be honest, I prefer the dark, but it's pretty also. And we have here the control unit. Let's see, with all the indications. This is pretty awesome to connect, because you have here all the indications where to connect and the pin layout and everything else. So KH140F. Okay, and you have the normal connectors, the temperature sensor and some cables to connect also, and this is a RG11 cable to connect the control unit to the display interface. Okay, and that's all. Let me take this out of the way. So in terms of first impressions, they have made some improvements. Mainly what I can see for now in physical terms is this case for the sensor. For opening the case, you just press here with your fingers and do a little pressure. As you can see, the sensor is inside this new case. The sensor previously was delivered like this. This is the KG series. In terms of size, it seems to be exactly the same sensor. It has a different board, maybe because now we need to bring this connector to the outside of the case, but it seems to be mostly the same product inside the new case. So pretty nice. The interface display or interface unit, right now it has this silver color. Previously it was on gray, this gray plastic. Seems also okay. I think these buttons right now are a little more clear to see than before, because it has these decorations on the buttons. It kind of make it hard to see. They clarified right now that this is a battery monitor. Before it has a voltage amperage meter. So in terms of language, it's easier to understand what this is. And finally, the control unit. In the control unit, they also did some changes, but basically it seems to be visual only on the design. This one was a little darker, but everything else seems to be exactly the same, the connections. And yeah, let's see on the back. We have also the 2 wires, 3 wires switch. So yeah, it seems to be exactly the same product with a firmware update or something like that. So let's move on and set up my environment to test this. So let's see what we have here in terms of displays. This is the normal display that you see when the device is running. On the top you have the output status. Right now it's on. We have also this lock to lock the buttons. You can press OK for a while and it will show this red lock, close red lock. And if you press it, a long press again, it will open the lock. You have here the current day and time. I will set this in the config in a moment. This is the unit. You can control several units by using only one of these display interfaces. And this is the operation, the communication operation, if it's working or not. In here you have the power that is being registered, the time left on the battery, and right now you can see 188 hours, but this is not real since I'm using my power supply to power this device. And I am using the electronic load to create some load on the system. On the bottom you have this small area here that shows where it says record, and you have here the record usage indication. So yeah, right now this is the charging or discharging information. I will show you just in a moment this changing. While charging this area, it will show you green letters or numbers in this case. Since I'm not using a battery to test this system, this will not show anything, but if you are using a battery, you will see the percentage of the battery available for usage, and in this area you will have the same information but in amps hour. So on the right you have this small indication that it is the room temperature, the environmental room temperature, and right now it's 30 degrees Celsius, and on top of that, this green one, it's the load in terms of amperage, and this one, yellow, it's the voltage being registered. So this is the voltage being registered and the amperage being registered. In terms of interface, that's it. You have this set and these OK keys and these direction keys that are used to set up the device. And now just to show you, I talked earlier in this charging or discharging. I will change here my alligator clips in the sensor, and right now you will be able to see that is connected again, and it says it is discharging 0.10 amps hour. Okay, so as you can see, some of the information changed. Yeah, and these letters right now are blue as it is this information. I will change this again. This was only to show you the difference between charging and discharging. Okay, so back to the charging mode. Let's see how we can configure this device. I will press set, and right now this has all these little icons instead of the drill list that it used to have before. So the first one is to set date and time, and I will take this chance to do it. So we have the year. Okay, let's move this to 2023. Okay, we have this small annoying beep, and the month is June, and the day is 10. Yeah, I'm recording this on the 10th. Right now it's 11:42, and if you press a long press it will be much faster. And when you are set, just click OK, and this will set the date to the one you choose. Okay, so let's move on. After we have language. In language we have English or Mandarin or Chinese. So I will leave this one. Sound on or off. Temperature if you want Celsius or Fahrenheit. So you can configure also the amps hour preset, also the amps hour remaining. So in this one you can set the brightness of the display during the day. So we have from 6 AM to 22 at night, and you will have 80% brightness. You can set up also the brightness during the night. For example, here is 30% from 10 PM to 8 AM. 6 AM. So we have several pages. The next page will show you the screen of time, and in this area you have the Bluetooth password. You can set a 4-digit number for password here. You have also the data record, on, off, and how many counts you have. The protection delay time. So this delay time allow you to set some seconds before the protection jump in. Zero current memory. Okay, you can zero the current memory, and you have here the relay mode. I will tell you more about the relay mode in the part that I will tell you how you can set up this device. There is 3 different ways you can set up this device. The simplest one is the one I have here to show you, but you can set up these in 3 different ways, and this relay mode, it will matter in that setup. So you have the matching address. Right now this is unit number 1. You can have several units controlled by this device, and you have also the low capacity reminder, and you can set a percentage for that reminder. In the next page you have the OVP. You can set the overload voltage protection, and you set here the voltage, and you can also set the low voltage protection. It's the same. You have the charge current protection, discharge current protection, over power protection, and over temperature protection. Also low temperature protection. So you see you have a lot of protections in terms of batteries. You have the protection recovery time, and finally you have the display host mode on. So that one you can put on or off. Okay, I will prefer to have this on. And finally, let me get out of here. Finally, you can do a restore factory settings. In terms of operation, this is what you have. So pretty simple to operate. This is more graphical than the other interface that you had on the previous version. It's refined. So if you want to see the previous device, the KG series, don't forget that you have on the top of the screen the link for that review. And yeah, that's it. Let's move on, and let me show you how this is set up and what you can do with this. Okay, to explain how all this is set up, we have here a complete system. This is the simplest one. For this, we have the system being powered by the power supply that I have with this alligator clip, and this one a little longer. It will create load on the system. This one is connected to my DC electronic load. So these two alligator clips are connected to the voltage input here on the control box. We have also the display unit connected by this box using this cable, and in this side you have the temperature sensor connected to this port. You have the sampler sensor connected to the middle port with all the ports here indicated, and basically you have the power supply connected to this side of the sampler, and from this side you have the electronic load creating the load in the system, as I told you before. And that's it, basically. Okay, so here is my mobile. Just for curiosity, this was the old application. As you can see, you have, yeah, it could have better graphics. The graphics are a bit outdated. So yeah, it was expected to have a new app with a different design. Let me show you the new app. This is the new app. As you can see, it is already connected to this system. You can see here the voltage and the amperage that is being processed. If you press in any of the windows, you can set the parameters, just like you have the ability to do when using this interface. For example, in current you can set also, and I don't know which ones will be able, but I know that in this one you can change the temperature units to centigrade or Fahrenheit. And yeah, I think that's most it. You have here the possibility to preset the battery amperes hour, and also to clear the data from the registry, the accumulated data. So in terms of the display, it is very nice. It's very well presented. You can on off here. You have a line of usage. Basically, you can activate and deactivate which graphics you will want to use. You have also the possibility to have the historical curve on and off, and in here you will have the basic settings that are also available in this unit like this. In here you will have to go through the menus, and it is a much nicer interface to use it. Most of them are also available on the front page, as you can see, but you will have all together in here in a nicer interface too, so you can use it. And finally, you have the app version, the firmware version, and the link to the official site. Pretty simple to use, but quite powerful. It allows you to do everything that you need, and remotely, well, at least in the distance of a Bluetooth connection. But anyway, it's a nice interface. To be honest, it's a much nicer interface than the previous one. So that's it in terms of mobile app. In terms of wiring connections, now I'm going to show you 3 different wiring connections diagrams. The self-powered wiring method, the external power supply connection method, and the external power relay wiring method. The first one is the self-power wiring method. That is the simplest to implement and the one I've showed you a few moments before. This wiring method will have a load and a charger on the live connections connected directly to the battery positive and also the VSNS pin in the controller unit. The common of the battery connects to the sampler left connector and the load and charger to the right connector. On the back of the controller unit, you must set the option to 2W, meaning 2 wires. This wiring method will not cut the energy of the circuit in case of a protection is triggered. The second one is very similar to the self-powered wiring method, but adds an external power supply to power the battery monitor. For that, you will connect the positive of the power supply to pin VX and the negative to GND. Pay attention that you need to change on the back of the controller unit the switch to 3W or 3 wires option. This wiring method will not also cut the energy of the circuit in case of a protection is triggered. And the last diagram shows you how you can set up a KH-F battery monitor with an external relay, powered also by an external power supply. For that, you will have to connect the relay and the external positive to the output control VX pin, the external supply negative to the output control GND pin, and the out pin to the common of the relay. The system represented in the screen is the only one that will be able to cut the power to the circuit in case of protection is triggered, like the overload voltage protection. Note that the relay cuts the voltage supply to the battery in case is needed. In these wiring methods, in the back of the control unit you should switch to 3W option. Time to wrap it up, and I will start with the price. At 48 euros or around $51, the price of this unit is fair for what you get. I made a quick search of alternative products on AliExpress, and even after all the time passed from the first review, and I'm talking about more or less 1.5 years, they still run on their own lane. It is true that I found a lot of battery monitors, but with this remote display interface unit, shunt sensor, and ability to control several units from a main interface, and also being able to use at the same time the Bluetooth, I didn't find anything similar. The KH140F is very complete in terms of functions and information it provides you. You can know if the battery is charging or discharging, the battery status, load, and you have a protection alarms and a lot more. The new, more intuitive graphic interface and the new application were desired updates, but for me, the new case for the sensor is a long desired must. It keeps all connections protected inside the case, and that is really desirable to avoid accidents. So everything considered, this battery meter was really good when I reviewed the KH140F, and it is now even better with the KH140F version. If you have solar panels at home or in an RV, among other cool uses for it, this battery meter will serve you well. And if you want to buy one, don't forget that just by using the affiliate links in the screen or in the description before making the payment on AliExpress or Amazon, you are sponsoring the channel without paying a cent more. Thank you for using these links. I hope that you learned something today with this review, and if you did, please spread the love, slapping that like button, and if you want to be one of the first to be notified whenever I upload a new video, just hit that bell and activate all notifications. That's it for today. If you are still with me, you are a hero, and I really appreciate your company. Thanks for watching and stay safe.